You will no longer be required to have your face mask on while in an open public space. This comes as the Ministry of Health revised other COVID-19 measures following the low number of cases recorded in the country as well as their severity. Raquel Mwigai with more details.
2 years since the first case of COVID-19 was reported, and one that led to 5,644 deaths and over 300,000 infections, the Ministry of Health says the country has put up a good fight.
Our positivity rate has remained below 5% over the last few months. But of particular importance for us is that in the last 1 month, that is, since the 10th of February 2022, our positivity rate has been below 1%.
A scenario that has now seen the ministry revise the initial COVID-19 measures put in place.
The mandatory wearing of face masks in open public spaces is now lifted. Inside the matatu, inside the train, inside the plane, you are required to have a face mask on.
The decision eliciting mixed reactions from Kenyans in various parts of the country.
Sasa hii ni kuweka stop. Sawa, kuna mahali tutaipeleka. Tukiuza maski kidogo na ile vitu ambayo tutafungua biashara nyingine kama makaramu, kama mavitabu.
Lakini watu kama ni maski wameambiwa watoe, utalingana na ile kazi unafanya. Juu kama wewe umedungwa masindano na nini, wewe toa maski.
Tulidungwa masindano na bado tunaambiwa tufae maski. So tunasema tunashukuru.
But it's not yet over the hook. We need to take care of ourselves. That's what I believe as as an individual there.
Other revisions include resumption of all in-person worship and indoor meetings at full capacity, as long as those attending are vaccinated, as well as halting of temperature screenings at public spaces due to the fact that a majority of COVID-19 cases present without fever. For those who find themselves testing positive for COVID-19,
all quarantine is to be stopped with immediate effect. This applies to both vaccinated and unvaccinated persons. Positive asymptomatic cases need not isolate but shall be observed for 5 cases and return to work thereafter without the need for further testing. The return to work after isolation for those who may have been symptomatic must always take into consideration the individual's clinical status.
Additionally, travelers who are fully vaccinated shall be exempted from the requirement of a PCR test, a measure that also includes truck drivers from the Eastern African Community countries. If unvaccinated, the truck drivers will be required to be in possession of a negative COVID-19 PCR test with a validity of a maximum 14 days prior to travel. For other unvaccinated travelers, they must have a negative COVID-19 PCR test result conducted not more than 72 hours before departure. They will also be subjected to rapid antigen test at their own cost of $30.
Tulikuwa tumeathirika sana na kwa wakati huu watu wanaweza kuendelea na biashara zao kama kawaida.
The measures that we have announced today may be reviewed at any time.
The Interfaith Council has been urged to develop protocols to facilitate resumption of full congregational worship. Well, we will no longer be required to have masks on to move around, save for the spaces that the Ministry of Health has detailed. But now the burden of responsibility lies solely on Kenyans, especially those who are yet to be vaccinated against COVID-19, given that the country is not completely out of the woods. Raquel Mwigai, Citizen TV, Nairobi.